Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Ay. Yeah. Boys. Yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. We making noise. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on. Let's get on right now, though. Smell that on me, they gon' follow. Like she want.
It's an all-Western Conference matchup in today's game as the Nuggets come into town for this one. 2K Sports is proud to present NBA basketball. This is Kevin Harlan, and here with me tonight, Greg Anthony, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke reporting from the sideline. All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So on the floor for Denver, Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Fareed at the 4. Harris is out there with Moutier. Minnesota with the ball. Now perhaps one of the most intriguing draft picks of this past summer, Emmanuel Moutier, can be a game-changing player. Was going to play, Clark, as you recall, at SMU for Larry Brown.
He sure was, and went overseas instead. So we don't know a ton about him other than his reputation is sterling. Now we'll see if he can live up to it.
And so it's the Minnesota Timberwolves getting the first points of the ball game. And the basket is good. Got it to go through on the contact, so a free throw coming up. A great opportunity for a three-point play. The Nuggets shooting their first free throw of the contest.
And they shot their free throws at a measly 73% clip over the course of last season.
And those aren't the kind of numbers they can afford to repeat throughout this season.
And the officials call a traveling violation. And just over a minute played here in the start of the game. He kicks it to Fareed. Gallinari wide open. No good from the wing.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Down low. Towns. Boom, he jams it straight down.
Fellas, that two-hand mock to slam was vicious.
I don't think there was anyone, and I mean anyone, that could have stopped him on that one.
I tell you what, I'm glad they didn't try, because somebody might have got their feelings hurt.
And out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession. On defense, Minnesota.
You know, when you're bad or struggling in the West, things can go south in a hurry. I mean, the Wolves ended with the worst record in the league last year at 16-66, and a lot of those losses came in their conference.
Well, last season, the Wolves did struggle in conference, as was expected. 7-45 against the rest of the Western Conference.
Well, listen, nothing harder in sports than learning how to win. And there's no doubt that Minnesota took a lot of lumps as a young team last season. 3 of those conference wins that you mentioned, though, did come against playoff teams. So there's that little silver lining of hope.
Now, here's Moutier. And Zach LaVine gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game.
I mean, that's a tough break for the D. I mean, he took the hit and drew the whistle.
Yeah, but he was late to get there, Greg, so the referee couldn't give him a free pass on that one.
And you saw him gauging that pass there. He knew they were coming inside with it and got in position for the steal.
Here's Fareed. He dishes it to Moutier. Back to Fareed. And Gallinari kicks to Moutier. Just 5 on the clock. To the middle. Here's Fareed. And he hits it just before the shot clock expires. Fareed's got 6.
And that's almost automatic anytime he can get the ball in that position.
And it's Rubio penetrating. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws.
That's his first personal foul.
Well, I tell you what, Ricky Rubio has everything you want out of a player except one thing. He has to learn to shoot it better. Rubio can defend, he can pass, he can lead a team, but until he becomes a better shooter, I think he's going to short-circuit his potential.
And so Ricky Rubio nails both of them. And back to Ricky Rubio for a moment, who certainly is at the hub of what this team does. Averaging over 8 assists a game for his career through last season. If he can stay healthy, gain some weight, this is a guy to watch.
It really is. And listen, they're also built now for him because they got those great athletic wings. And if he can shoot it a little bit better, I mean, I think he's going to have more opportunities to spread the floor and drive and make plays. And for his first 4 seasons in the league, never hit over 38%. That's not going to get it done at the highest level.
No one near Moutier as he lets it go. Sinks the triple. Moutier's got 5 points so far.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
There's the screen. A strong finish under heavy pressure all over. He has 7.
They've done a great job of getting into the middle of that defense and scoring in the paint.
And that's why they're on this run. You get that close to the hoop, and it's a lot easier to make shots.
Wiggins drives in. Looking to end the run. Rubio misses. The Nuggets leading by 6. There's the 3. And it's Gallinari missing. Timberwolves have gone 2 of 5 here, making 40% so far to start out the game. Here's Wiggins. Another miss by Minnesota.
And he rushed that one, no doubt about it. The D out of position, you could see the frustration on his face.
And that'll be Denver as it goes out of bounds. Nuggets retain possession.
Yeah, that's a super defensive play. If that gets through, no doubt they score.
And that's why he sold out for it, because he knew he had to make that play. He wasn't going to let them get the advantage.
And we reached the end of the first quarter. Nuggets lead by 6. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter. And welcome back to the NBA on 2K Sports. More action in store as the players get ready to go, having a nice break to get hydrated with Gatorade. And when you consider how Denver is doing, guys, what are your thoughts?
I tell you what, defensively, they have been in tune with one another, as intense as I've seen.
Yeah, nice job helping out on the rotations and drives, doing really good work at the defensive end.
On the floor for Denver as we get going here in the second quarter. Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Fareed at the 4. Moutier out there with Harris. Moutier with the ball. Guarded now by Rubio. They get it back. Fareed the pass to Jokic. And they have their chances. 2 offensive rebounds, but they still come up empty. Got a piece of it. And the Nuggets pushing it up now. Moutier with the ball. Timberwolves trail by 6.
And Ricky Rubio, one of the youngest international basketball stars ever. We started hearing about him in the U.S. back when he was 16. And even then, powerful teams in Europe were all vying for his services.
Here's Moutier. Scored the basket. His 4th. He's only missed 1 of his 5 shots tonight. Down low. Here's Towns.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Here's Ruby. Following the basket by Kenneth Fareed. Kicks it out to Rubio. And another three for Minnesota.
And their shots are falling now with more regularity than we saw at first.
Well, it was a slow start, but they've gone from simmer to medium heat, and they're bordering on hot to close this gap.
And Harris wide open. He shoots. Out of bounds. Minnesota takes possession.
Boy, did they ever make a mess out of that one. A terrible turnover.
Timberwolves trail by 5. The pass to Towns. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Towns has got 6.
Offensively, he can be the engine that drives them at any given time.
Moutier kicks to Fareed.
And not the prototype power forward, but he has tremendous athletic ability.
And it's Rubio penetrating. Inside. Towns. Rebound by the Nuggets. Fareed's got 4 rebounds in this game. Moutier, no good.
Well defended, though, and he's not someone who handles that kind of pressure very well.
The Nuggets missed the postseason again last year. Never really had a good look at it and just fell in back of the pack.
And it's the second straight year of not playing playoff basketball in Denver. This coming on the heels of 10 straight bursts between 04 and 13.
Just 2 to shoot. That 3 off the mark. Rubio dishes to Levine. Can't get it to fall. The Nuggets leading by 5. Knocked away. The drive by Rubio. It's deflected. They retain possession. Denver's gone 0-3 from beyond the arc to start the second quarter. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Here's Towns. That's good. It's Rubio with the assist. Rubio's got his 5th assist in this one.
And, you know, for Denver, historically, they've enjoyed a lot of success for a long time. I mean, missing the playoffs consecutively might have been the wake-up call they needed to try something different going forward.
Timberwolves trail by 3. 2 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. Now here's Towns. Fareed defending. Clock at 6. And Rubio kicks to Towns. Gallinari with the steal. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Fareed. To the paint. With 2 seconds left. And Towns lays it in. Towns has got 8 here in the quarter.
Terrific.
And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Denver on top, leading by just 1. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
It's been a nice game for Fareed. He has 12 points and 1 assist.
And how about this, guys? He's actually scored more than half their points by himself.
And at some point, guys, you would think that the defense would make an adjustment. They'd throw something else at him because what they're doing right now has not been working.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Nice game. Great performance by Kenneth Fareed.
He created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
Wiggins outside at the 3 with Anthony Towns at the 4. Rubio and Levine teaming up in the backcourt. And it's Jang in at the center position. So that's the lineup for Minnesota. Towns the pass to Rubio. And Fareed sends it back. And there's the call on Karl Anthony Towns. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
And, you know, guys, a high-energy post player like Kenneth Fareed excels at doing the dirty work. As a matter of fact, he's nicknamed the Manimal for good reason. Very few players in the league possess this combination of energy and aggressiveness.
And if you're just joining us, we've played over a minute here in the 3rd. Here's Towns. Count that as his 7th field goal in 10 tries. He's shooting a very good 70%.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash-mouth basketball, guys.
They're all about imposing your will offensively, getting exactly the kind of looks their coach drew up.
Talking about Fareed, a rebounder extraordinaire. His explosiveness, long arms, and huge hands help him compensate for his relative lack of size.
And he has that exceptional shot blocker instincts. I mean, the timing's there. He'll also steal the ball from you. The question now becomes, will he always be that role, effort, energy player, or will he develop eventually the offensive skills needed to see him reach the next level?
Here's Rubio. Denver able to drain the 3. Tipped away. Gallinari against Wiggins. From past the arc. And again, Denver with the triple.
All these open threes they're giving up have really been the driving force of this run.
And the points are starting to add up in a hurry, especially when you're giving up those looks from deep.
Here's Towns. Rubio with a wide open look. And again, unable to change momentum here. Fareed dishes to Gallinari. And that one's good. Barton.
It has been a 3-point barrage for them since halftime.
Not sure if it's been by design or simply by accident, but either way, it has been impressive.
For the finish. And the dunk by Towns.
Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
And, you know, that's an example of how many plays we have in a game for which there's no stat. A monster dunk coming off just a terrific pick play.
Greg, you're right. It really did work to perfection. Gave him all the room he needed for the flush.
Boy, that's a sound physical play. I mean, can't be afraid to put a shoulder into somebody every once in a while. It's a contact sport, folks.
Minnesota really had a rough year last season. A lot of people know that, obviously. A lot to do with their defense. They just, Greg, struggled in almost every defensive metric.
Yeah, and, you know, they struggled at times guarding the basketball, but ultimately I think the biggest issue for them was their inability to protect the rim. That's an area and a point of emphasis that has to improve for this young team.
At the line for 2.
You know, with the Timberwolves in their defense, it was the league's worst in opponent field goal percentage. Also dead last in field goal percentage, which takes threes into account for the value they add. So near the bottom of the league in block shots as well. Hard to win when you're struggling in those areas.
Now Towns. Following the miss by Gary Harris from deep.
Up high and down hard with the one-hander.
Got a little extra forceful with that one, didn't he? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I think that's going to rouse up his teammates, no doubt.
Another shot. And Fareed lays it in. Fareed's got 18 points in the game.
That's something they need to do more of. get after it on the glass. Go get those boards.
Clark, it wouldn't hurt. Some extra possessions would definitely help narrow the gap and maybe swing the momentum.
Barton kicks to Gallinari. Here's Barton. And Ricky Rubio gets the whistle that time. That's his first foul. Fareed, a screen on Rubio. Jacks up a three. Misses. And we've watched 3 so far in this one. Nuggets lead by 8. And we're coming right back after this break to get the 4th quarter underway. Well, welcome back as we get set to start the 4th. Here's Rubio. And Denver will start the 4th quarter with. Gallinari sits outside at 3 with Fareed at the 4. Harris is out there with Moutier. A baseline J. And he wills that one in, sinking right through off the back iron. And now it's up to 25 points for Karl Anthony Towns. Out to Gallinari. Moutier pass to Gallinari. 6 on the shot clock. Fareed dishes to Moutier. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. Denver with a tough year last season. A lot of losses for them on the road as they would go, what, Clark, only 11-30 away from the Mile High City.
Yeah, and Kevin, they ended the season on a 5-game road losing streak as well. I mean, they had mostly given up at that point as they had tried to develop young players, and it just kind of blew up on them down the stretch.
The Nuggets leading by 5. Towns comes with a double team. And Gorgui Dieng is going to pick up the foul. About a minute played here in the 4th quarter. Now Moutier. There's the killer 2-handed slam.
And folks, he does more than just put 2 points onto their lead. He does it with a little bit of flair.
He sure does. You're right. It's a dazzling move to the bucket for him.
I'll tell you what, he may not be the biggest man in the league, guys, but he more than makes up for that lack of size with amazing aerial skills.
That's a huge three-pointer. He'd love to become a go-to guy for them here in crunch time.
And Fareed kicks to Moutier. And there's the defensive 3-second call. And let's take a moment here to get your guys' take on scoring so far for Denver.
You know, one of the big stories has been the 3-ball. It's been a key part of their offense throughout the game.
And they've also worked hard to get the ball inside. They haven't just settled. And they've hit a lot of high percentage shots in this game.
Stolen by Rubio. Out of bounds. Denver takes possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
And we're about 2 minutes into the 4th quarter now. And there's the call. It's going to be an illegal screen.
That's his second
TO number 5 for him in the game, and that's way too high of a number for any one player.
To the inside. Towns.
And you know what? You allow a guy to get right to the rim like that. That's your only option.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, free throws are always better than a layup, so I'd agree with you there, Greg. Of course, he didn't have an attempt there in the first half. He's hoping to be a little bit more active and aggressive here and draw some fouls here in the second. They really could have used a perfect trip to the line there. Instead, they're still down 2 possessions.
And stolen by Dieng. Here's Towns. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are. Kevin, you look at their free throw percentage. They've been very efficient from the line today. That's a big factor.
Yeah, I like that they haven't lost their aggressiveness here in the second, despite being down.
That's exactly when you need to be aggressive, Greg. You know that. I mean, another good job, though, of drawing contact and getting to the free throw line.
Will Barton, he's checked in for the Nuggets. The dive for the ball. Stolen away. Here's Fareed. Great pass to set up the lay-in. Fareed's got 20 points.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
And Towns gets it to go.
Key buckets, and we know he delivers down the stretch.
Barton passes to Fareed. Out to Harris. It's tipped. On the wing, Harris. 6 to shoot. And that one's good. Barton. And the Nuggets lead by 5.
And a nice spark for their offense here in the second half. Now above 50% for the game.
And, you know, guys, that kind of offensive efficiency really keeps a lot of pressure on the opponent, and that's part of why the lead is what it is.
Screen by Fareed. Barton, no luck.
I tell you what, that's too good a look to pass up there. Even though it didn't go, that's one you got to take.
To the middle. Here's Harris. Rubio outside. There's 47 seconds left in the game. Towns dishes to Rubio to tie it up. And Jokic with the rebound. What a big possession right here.
No doubt about it, guys. The tension is palpable. And it's still within reach.
But they have to be really close to perfect from here on out. I mean, they have to get their offense right on target, right on point immediately.
Now, here's Rubio. Here's Towns. Money!
Oh, that's the shot of the game.
Well, he was fearless enough to get it up and down, and it paid off for him.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
And honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
That's a good foul, though. I like that. I mean, clock management crucial at this time of the game.
He hits the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And he is unable to get the second one. Minnesota calls timeout. They trailed by 2. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And the Timberwolves making a change here. Minnesota calls timeout. They're trailing by 2. 7 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And it all comes down to this. Still enough time on the clock that they should be able to get a real good look.
Yeah, and in this case, you debate often. You hear guys debate whether to take a 2 for the tie or a 3 to win. In my case, with this situation, I think you go hard inside and see if you can get a good shot in close.
So it's the Nuggets taking the W in a close one. This win, such a tremendous emotional